Hi, I'm Minotaur. Ubisoft recently announced that they're only going to be adding two new different operators in Year 9. They seem to be focusing on reworks and balance this year, but it got me thinking nonetheless. I came up with three different new operators with some help from a friend, and I'm excited to know what you think. That was the plan at least, but the video was looking to be rather short, so I've added in my own Blackbeard rework that I cooked up a while ago. It's kind of on theme here. We're going to come straight out of the gates hot with this first operator. It'd be neat to have operators from different countries and not just repeating ones, so the first operator we're going to be talking about is from Afghanistan. This does tie into the operator's gadget, I promise. Afghanistan has a lot of surplus Soviet weaponry left behind after the Afghan-Soviet War. Among them is the RPG. The RPG has a heat warhead, which stands for High Explosive Anti-Tank. Heat shells blast a stream of molten copper through enemy armor and cook anything inside. This is where the gadget comes in. A full-sized RPG might be a bit large for our purposes and game balance, so we'll make it small, roughly the size of Ash's grenade launcher. I feel the need to point out that I want this to be a defender, so visualize this on defense. When the launcher is fired, it will burrow into any soft cover and deploy fire on the other side like a piercing Kappa-Tau bolt almost. This will allow our new defender to stop people from playing vertical, stop plants from below, and deploy fire safely from cover. If the heat warhead strikes hard surfaces, it'll just explode. In terms of balance, only two warheads will be supplied to our new operator, so that while he can deploy through surfaces, it comes at the cost of less overall firepower compared to other aerial denial operators like smoke. Another drawback is that this operator won't have any means of sight set up like shotguns or impacts. He will be a 2 armor, 2 speed. In terms of weaponry, I want him to have something unique, so he'll be receiving an RPK that was left behind by the Soviet Union. I don't know what other weapon to give him, so probably just pick a random SMG. For secondaries, PMM should do nicely. In terms of utility, bulletproof cameras and proximity alarms would fit best, as he'll be able to use them for intel to strike at the exact best moment. So, I had help from a friend with this next operator, and that statement from earlier about repeating operator countries is going to have to be broken here, as his reward for the help was choosing the ops country, of which he chose Germany. Before you tell me that Germany has too many ops, please remember that America actually has 9 and France has 5 as well. Anyway, this new German's going to be an attacker whose concept started out quite niche, but we did expand on it. There isn't much backstory due to that. Fragging operators like Ash and Sophia can use their gadgets to clear bits of utility, but leave doorways still trapped and hard to traverse. There are still solutions, like Zero or Twitch, but none of that is fast and gets them into sight as quick as can be desired. This gadget will solve that. The gadget is a tube strapped into the barrel of a gun like an air jab or buck skeleton key. It can be set to 2 modes. In the first mode, the tube is fired and will stick to the surface it touches and fire a grenade to about shoulder height. The grenade will have the perfect radius to flawlessly clear any and all utility waiting on the door, allowing our new op to enter sight safely. Remember how people used to just throw frags below sight and one-shot people? Well, the second mode of this gadget has a similar purpose. The grenade will be set with an impact fuse and blow up on whatever it hits. If that just happens to be an op IQ saw was on their phone, oh well, but the main goal is clearing utility. The G36 will be given to the operator, as not only is this your stereotypical boring fragging weapon, it's German. The 417 will also be given to this operator. Despite the fact that all the operators that are given it are French, it's made by a German company, so I think it fits to be given here. The only secondary is the P12, and this is the only secondary on all current German operators, and I thought I'd stay with the theme. In terms of utility, both kinds of breaches will be given, as you're kinda outrunning the need for claymores and you don't need even more grenades, and your gadget erases the need for EMPs in the fragging context. So, if you haven't already guessed it, this operator is a 3-speed. I couldn't figure out what country I want the next operator to come from, so I opened my YouTube, went to the audience tab, and looked for the country of which I have the highest amount of viewers that didn't have an op in the game yet. That ended up being Finland. The idea for this operator wasn't a real-life weapon or a specific role, it was by need to blow stuff up. The easiest way to describe this next one is to imagine an ace charge and a breach charge combo. It's a throwable soft breach, but it has a catch. You can throw multiple charges out and detonate them all simultaneously. It sounds quite simple, and maybe even a little boring, but let's consider what we can do with the operator. For example, cache in CCTV on Clubhouse. With our charges, maybe we give 3 of them, we can destroy the bandit boxes on the main breach, open default so we can prevent a defuse, and open cache door so they can't swing the dude planting. Boom. All at once. It's essentially just a better Ash in terms of utility. The guns the op will receive will be the 552 Commando and the M1014. The Commando because they use something similar in Finland, and the M1014 because I felt like it. The SPS MG9 will act as a secondary. I was too lazy to choose a specific pistol, as they are kinda all the same, so just pick one. At this point, the operator is seeming quite strong, so we're gonna make them 1 speed. Claymores make a bit of sense to add to an operator that may spend most of the time staring through holes, so we'll give them that. There aren't really any other utility that makes sense to give. The op is too strong for grenades, we don't need even more soft destruction on this guy. There's too much soft to warrant can openers. I guess we'll just give them EMPs. It's time for my Blackbeard rework, and I'm going to explain something first so that we're all on the same page here. Imagine you have a line. One end of the line you have offense and the other side you have defense. Guns are way on the offensive side, with shields all on the defensive side. Blackbeard's gun shields thing is somewhere in the middle, as the gun is absolutely terrible and the shield only covers a little bit of his body. Due to nerfs, the shield sucks and has sucked for years now. My idea for a rework is that we stay somewhere on the scale of offensive and defensive weaponry for the rework as to keep the same line of thinking for Blackbeard 2.0. We're not staying on the same spot on the scale though. We're going to move closer to offensive, and then some. After all, I doubt that a United States Marine would have any issue at all with more gun. Ladies and gentlemen, introducing the gun pod. I don't know what's on screen as I write the scripts before I edit, but the idea is essentially 2 guns strapped together. You'd still run around like current Blackbeard does, but instead of attaching a silly shield to your gun, you'd attach a second gun. Mechanics-wise, you aren't actually getting a second gun, just a stat increase. The AR would double the rate of fire, giving it one of the highest rates of fire in the entire game, and combined with AR levels of damage, a near immediate time to kill. If you have the DMR equipped, both guns would fire at once, doubling your damage. You down 1 and 2 speeds with a single shot, unless they have rook armor. Obviously, the main downside to all this is that there'd be a lot of recoil. Neither of his weapons are particularly high on recoil, but if you double it, I can imagine range being a slight issue. A downside that current Blackbeard has is that when the shield is equipped, he gets a speed decrease. That'll stay. I mean, if anything, at this point, you're just an attacking Tachanka. In a game where one-shot headshots are a thing, essentially trading a fancy gadget for more DACA seems like a fine trade to me. That's all the new operators I've cooked up for now. Before you tell bro to never cook again, I'd like to know what you think of the operators and how you would change them from what I already suggested. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you again. See ya.